Swera say Mre Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel Zim Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana kariki kutanka kukapa neno channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana uchungwa karoka subscribe, but don't forget to comment and share this video. That's Mre Zimbabwe tapigira inyaya buditskwa ne one of ma pro-democracy activists ayo akabatwa pa Harare International Airport vakatochwa vakasungwa vachipomera mhosva yekunzi they were planning a demo. Abuda achitaura about maways aishandiswa nema-CIO aejecta from the airplane achitaura iwo maitikiro akaita matortures avakaitwa mure Zimbabwe the Harare International Airport nemaways aitoshwa nawo taura yachiti vaidirwa mvura machirohwa nema-iron bars anoshandiswa kugadzira mabagla bars mure Zimbabwe nonyaya inorwadza nyaya inosiririsa inofunga kusungwa kuma pro-democracy activists kwakaraise ma-eyebrows across the world pachinzi the Mnangagwa regime yekuabuse ma-human rights evana vemuZimbabwe tikati kuwesta nguva nyitwa kuti mungonzwa zvataurwa ne one of ma-pro-democracy activists achitaura achitsanangura maitikiro akaita chiitiko ichi mwamadza zvamuri kufunga pamusoro penyaya iyi mu-comment section.
So it was closed. We were taken through the back side of the domestic terminal through a small opening, which is of height of my knees. And then we had to force to crawl into that.
They had not identified themselves.
They had not identified themselves.
There were still six.
There were still six, and we were asking them to identify themselves and why they were forcing us there. And they said that we will find out later. So when we get into the domestic terminal, we were made to wait there, and then they were busy on their phones, communicating with other people. While they were communicating, we couldn't hear, but they were busy with their phones communicating with other people. Then after almost an hour in the domestic terminal there, which was closed, one of them went to the doors and opened the door, and then a group of around 14 to 15 men came in. They were led to a room which is that's adjacent into the domestic terminal, but that room is you go through a passage and then there's a room. So when those men entered that room, the people who were holding us hostage, three of them went into that room, spent some time, 20 minutes with that group of men who came. And then later on, they came into the domestic terminal where the other three were left behind watching us. So we were then led one by one into that room, which I can describe as a torture room. Both that was where the interrogation and all the torture that was happening to us, that was being subjected to us, was taking place. So they were calling us one by one into that room. I was the last one to get into that room. When I went into that room, I was subjected to a lot of torture from these men. I can describe this torture. I can relate this torture from the story that I was told by my father. When I was still young, the torture he experienced during the liberation struggle, in which he was accused by the then Rhodesian state agents that he had assisted the liberation fighters. So my father told me that when he was abducted when he was taken into during the day by the Rhodesian state agents, then they went with him where I'm from, Muzumba. They went with him from a place which is called Katio Business Shopping Center from our area in Mahema. And then they subjected him to a lot of torture. When we grow up, we discuss injuries, and when I asked him, that is what he told me. He only woke up or regained consciousness after the beating being accused for assisting the liberation war fighters. And the story that he told me is actually almost the same with what happened to me. And it is really sad that this is coming at a time when the same people who made my father tortured because he was assisting, it was a noble cause, and now torture me, send people to torture me because these people I want to believe, strongly believe that they are state agents in this Zimbabwe, which we say is a free Zimbabwe, a liberated Zimbabwe.
Just hold you a bit. What was the moment like? What was the environment like? What was the mood when you entered into the room? How many people inside? I just want to get a picture of what exactly did it look like?
Yeah, so this room doesn't have enough lighting. There were no chairs in that room. All the men, around 15 men, they were standing in that room, and the room is separated by a pit, which is almost around 2.5 to 3 meters deep. On the other side, you could see there's a pit. So when I entered this room, they started asking me questions almost all at a time. So when I tried to answer for one, like what are you going to do in Vic Falls? The other one asking who has funded you to go to Vic Falls? And when I tried to answer, then the other one who hit me saying, why are you not answering me and answering him first? And I tried to explain to them that I can't answer to you at the same time, and I tried to tell them consistently that I'm going. It's a philanthropy conference, and it feeds also into even the African agenda. Gracia Machel is part of the respected guest that is at that conference. They couldn't take it anymore. That's when they started hitting me all over the body. They were using iron bars. Those iron bars that are used for window frames, on the window frames, to prevent thieves from getting in. That's the kind of iron bars that was used to be hit. Iron bars, wooden bar, kick, open hands and kicks all over the body, and then they put handcuffs on me, and then forced me to lie facing down, and then some standing on my feet and hitting me at the back. It was really terrible. Part of them were recording me using their cell phones when I was being hit, and also.
Could someone happen to hear what could be happening in that room when he or she's outside?
It depends now with the distance that person could be, but it's I think it depends on the distance, but that room is in the passage next to the domestic plane, and also it depends whether you are next to the you are a few meters from the room you could hear, but if you are just some meters away, so several meters, you could not hear.
From the way you see it, do you think it's really that room is in that state because of the renovations, or it's a deliberate place that is meant for such inhuman treatment?
I'm not so sure whether the room is there specifically for this purpose, but since I was tortured in that room, and it had nothing in terms of other things that you could say that this is an office or what, I would maybe supposedly want to believe that it might be maybe designed for the purpose that it was used to towards me. And so yeah, when I was being tortured, they made me to unlock my phone. They asked me to unlock my phone, and of which I refused because they had illegally seized my phone, and these people did not even identify themselves. So I refused to unlock my phone and also being forced to chant slogans. I refused that. So they continued hitting me. They were saying that they are the open boys and word should spread that there's open boys in town who are in operation. And they accused me saying that we are planning to protest during the upcoming SADC summit. To me, which was unfounded allegations, because we were just going to attend a philanthropy conference. All those lies that they were alleging were only lies and stories, not factual. So the moment
were you really planning something?
No, not at all.
Do you know of any who was planning to?
I didn't know of anyone who was planning a SADC protest. Actually, just a trade unionist, a teacher who was going for the philanthropy thing, that also to tap valuable, important interactions from the philanthropy education that will help the education sector. That was the main reason I was going there, and I was going there on behalf of Amalgamated Roadshare Union of Zimbabwe as their secretary general. Nothing to do with the SADC summit that was coming in. I don't know where the paranoia was coming from these people, to an extent that they could torture me up until I lose consciousness, only to wake up my face covered with a mutton cloth, and a gentleman who was wearing a suit covering his face with a mask, pouring water from a bucket, which choked me, and then regained my consciousness. And after I regained consciousness, I was my clothes were tattered, and there was blood stains on my clothes, and was then instructed to take clothes from the bag that I wanted to use at Victoria Falls, and I was instructed to change the clothes and put on other clothes, and also to apply Vaseline, which was a way to cover up for the beatings, the scars, and all the visible blood stains that were on my clothes. I was detained. I was then put into the terminal, inside the domestic terminal, where the other colleagues were there. Then from there, around 7 to 8.
So how did the beatings last? The torture, how did it last? It lasts for how long did it last?
I was the last one to be taken into that room, which I describe as a torture room. I think it was maybe around 5. And then in the room, and then from there, the moment that time you woke up, I didn't know what the time it was, but it was dark. It was dark. It was now more dark, meaning that there were several hours it passed. And then we were then told that we are under arrest, and that is the police is coming to collect us from the airport. And then the police came at between 7 and 8 p.m. Police from CID, Law and Order, who were not part of the group that was torturing us. We then surrendered to the police. They took us then from myself, Namatai Kweza, Samuel Gwens, and Fusimu Sumoyo were then taken to Harare Central CID, Law and Order, where upon arrival, we were then told that we are now being charged with disorderly conduct, and we are now under the police detention. So we were then